and you're watching Downunder Derby TV.
Hi, I'm Susie from Sydney Derby Skates. We stock a wide range of products from all the best brands. Did you know that the Sydney Derby Skates website is up to date with stock levels and will only let you buy something if it's actually in stock? We pride ourselves on having awesome customer service and very quick delivery. Usually items are sent the very same day you place your order.
Welcome everybody to the 5x5 Roller Derby Championship round number 2. Here we are live from Sydney Boys High. My name is the Big Kahuna.
I'm the fabulous Sebastian.
And we're really happy to be your stream broadcasters, announcers here today. We're starting off with a hell of a game here, folks. Sydney Roller Derby League Snipers taking on Varsity Derby League's Dishonour Rollers all the way from Canberra. Let's go quickly through the lineups. We'll start with Sydney Roller Derby League Snipers. Stockyard Slamming, Lowdown Hoedown, Sneaky Stackhouse, Micro Machine, Icy Red, Chew Whacker, Levi Strides, Goldie Horns, Carnage, Blocky Balboa, Brat Pitt, Sirius Whack, Tonya Harder, and Feisty Cuffs. Calling all the shots from the bench today, we've got your mum and Rampage.
And all the way from the national capital, representing Varsity Derby League, Laser Station, Blocktopussy, Joe Dirt, Diazza Slam, Main Event, Cherry Bomb, Red Hot Chili Pepper, Ginger Owl, Cleaver, Terra Smackdal, Reaper Concussions, Maleficent Mara, and on their bench, Dr. Marks and Sheriff. Well, Sydney, Canberra, one of our favourite rivalries in Australian roller derby.
Yeah, absolutely. These two teams do have a bit of history. Last time they met up was at Eastern Region Roller Derby Smackdown 2014. The Snipers getting the best of the Dishonour Rollers at that, taking them out by about 100 points. So it was a convincing win, not a blowout, but convincing nonetheless. Today we're seeing a very different team from the red and black Snipers. Different lineup, new players in. Last round, round 1, they started their 2015 campaign with a loss to Southside. Varsity had the bye, so this is the first time we're seeing them in 2015. But we do know that they have a very consistent lineup, and the team that got them to the grand final of the Armageddon division last year is pretty much intact for their 2015 campaign as well.
And that's certainly a strong team going into this. The Snipers, as we said, from Sydney, a lot of players at the Sydney League. They take the second lot of 15 to make it into the Snipers, as opposed to the Assassins, who are the top 15 from Sydney. So it's an ever-evolving lineup in the Sydney team. And we saw it the first round. They didn't do as well as we expected. So they'll be looking to do more.
Absolutely. They only had a week of preparation before round 1. Round 2, they've got a lot more, obviously being able to solidify and gel as a unit. They've added some reinforcements in the form of Chewhacker, who was promoted to the Assassins this year. Blocky Balboa, who was an Assassin this year. So a few more names coming into the lineup. Micro Machine from London. She's also one of the Assassins. And Lowdown Hoedown getting the call up as well. So some new names into the lineup. Tonya Harder was injured last round. Oh, sorry, out of the state last round. So she's making her debut as well. So a lot of mix-up in that Snipers lineup, whether it's a good thing as far as getting those reinforcements or whether it's a thing of too many new pieces to find their fit.
Well, unlike last round, they've had 4 weeks to solidify, as you were saying. So they've actually had training sessions as opposed to the 1 week of preparation from the first round.
Jam number 1 about to get underway. We've got Block to Pussy jamming for Varsity in the grey, number 007, up against Feisty Cuffs, 999.
Well, Feisty Cuffs, how many jams did she play in that first round? Well over half of the jams for Sydney were Feisty Cuffs, often jamming back to back.
It was an MVP performance as selected by the opposition for Feisty Cuffs. But right now, Block to Pussy is lead jammer for Varsity. Hits that back wall with some force and calls it off after grabbing 2 and denying Feisty Cuffs any points for Sydney.
So Cherry Bomb against Sneaky Stackhouse on the jam line.
Sneaky Stackhouse did top score for the Snipers in round 1, putting up 49 points on the board for the Snipers. So look for her to continue that here. Slow start to this jam. Both jammers trying to find a gap, finding none at the moment. Cherry Bomb, lead jammer, 2 for 2 for Varsity.
So Varsity off on the roll here, looking for the quick points. Bench is calling her on. But there's a wall of snipers, certainly outsized there by the sniper wall.
So Cherry Bomb going to the outside, taking the bump, picking up 2 and calling it off. Another strong jam for the Snipers, but for the Varsity Dishonour Rollers, sorry. Snipers doing a good job at limiting the damage though, 2 points each jam. Repercussions now lining up for Varsity in the grey. And Brat Pitt with the Jammer Star for the Snipers.
And Varsity straight through the pack there.
So 3 from 3, 100% lead jammer to the Varsity Dishonour Rollers. Brad Pitt struggling at the front of that Varsity wall. Multiplayer block called on Joe Dirt. She's on her way to the box. So that time a full 4 points for Varsity, but 2 blockers on the way to the box. 4-2 pack advantage for the Sydney now. Let's see if this is the impetus they need to get that lead jammer status for Icy Red jamming for Sydney.
Up against Laser Station for Varsity.
You can see on the feed, folks, the number on her back 0, and it does say Laceration. For the artist formerly known as Laceration, recently she played a game, I found out the backstory, where an announcer kept mistakenly calling her Laser Station. So she went with it. She goes, fine, I'm Laser Station from now on.
And that is the name that's listed on the run sheet here.
If only we had that much power, Sebastian. We can just say, you're now this, and they'll just change their name.
Indeed, Prime Minister Big Ears.
So we said that the 4-2 pack advantage could work for Sniper's favour, and it did. Icy Red getting lead jammer status and getting them on the board. 1 point for the Snipers, 8-1 after 4 jams. 8-2, sorry, after 4 jams.
Varsity Cups trying to make the outside, but slammed down and back up on the inside. Both jammers caught up in the pack at present.
Feisty Cuffs at the front. She's got lead jammer for Sydney, sorry. Cherry Bomb making her way around, but Feisty Cuffs having presence of mind to call it off. So 3 more points Sydney's way, 5-8 now. Tight defense to start this game off. No more than 1 pass and only 1 pass, 1 jam, getting the full 4 points.
Certainly one of my favourite parts of the jammer is what position they can call the jam off in. On their front, on their back, on their butt. I love the positions.
So this jam starts with a block to pussy up against Lowdown Hoedown. Lowdown Hoedown pushing at the front. She's got a couple to beat.
She makes it through.
Lowdown Hoedown now lead jammer, but block to pussy also out, giving chase. He's got about a quarter lap on it. Let's see what Lowdown Hoedown can do.
Makes a casual pass through the inside for the 4 points.
3 points there.
3 points.
Repercussions with the star now for Varsity. Up against Sneaky Stackhouse jamming for the Snipers. Sneaky at the front, Reaper at the back. Repercussions sent to the box for a back block. So first power jam here for the Snipers and Sneaky Stackhouse. Chance here to take the lead. Tied up at the moment.
And we now have 3 Varsity in the bin.
1 blocker left on the track with a power jam.
So there's the first 5 points for Sydney. Not quite through for the second 5. Great defensive work from Varsity.
So this is still the first scoring pass. Red Hot Chili Pepper, the last line of defense there, causing all sorts of trouble for Sneaky, but 5 points on the board and Snipers in control of this jam.
Repercussions is through, coming back up on the pack. Where we've now seen Sydney taking the lead. We didn't see this in the last bout, but in this bout, we have seen Sydney, the Snipers, out in front.
Courtesy of a power jam there for the Snipers. Cherry Bomb stepping up to the line for the Varsity Dishonour Rollers. Icy Red with the jammer star now for the Snipers, number 23. Icy Red pushing hard against the 4 wall from Varsity.
Indeed, the pack split in 2, a wall of Varsity and a wall of Sydney. No jammer making through the wall.
Strong defense from both teams, looking impressive to start this game. Icy Red finding their way through. Lead jammer for Sydney once again.
30 seconds to make it through that pack.
So jam called off, neither team troubling the scorekeepers, 0-all. Just a sign of how strong the defense is out there. 20-8 scores stay, 20-8, sorry, scores stay pat in Sydney's favour.
Feisty comes back on the line, but she doesn't get to be lead jammer. Blocked a pussy, makes it through for Varsity. Feisty Cup still being knocked out of bounds by the Varsity defence.
The block to pussy on a scoring pass now. Picking up a couple, looking for more. Spins to the outside, runs into Tonya Harder.
And those last 3 Snipers, strong war, but she's through now. That'll be 5 points.
So Feisty yet to breach a scoring pass here. Runs straight into a Varsity wall. and gets called for blocking with the head.
Meanwhile, block the push. The little Apex jump through the inside. Makes another 5. Don't often we see Feisty Cuffs being lapped, but now Feisty Cuffs off to the bin. Power jam for Varsity.
So block to pussy on a scoring pass here. She's hit to the inside, calls it off, wanting to start the next one with a power jam. And with the way these jammers are copping a beating and finding it so hard to get through, I'm not surprised they want to finish it early. You can't do that for a full 2 minutes.
This has been the pinnacle feature of the game here today. Both walls have been strong.
And with that last power jam, Varsity's taking back the lead ever so slightly. 21 plays 20 in favour of Varsity from Canberra. Laser Station now with the power jam for the Dishonour Rollers. She spins to lead jammer status. So Lass, one of the bigger jammers for Varsity, able to really force her way through with sheer strength.
Indeed, they've set the muscle in this time. Feisty Cuffs now back on for Sydney, but she's still to make her initial pass.
Big assist on the inside line there for Feisty Cuffs. She makes her way through, but 5 points already on the board for Laceration.
And Laceration Laser Station calls that off as Feisty Cuffs was flying down towards the pack.
So Lass there picking up 6 points in that jam and extending the lead. 27 plays 20.
Cherry Bomb back on the line for Varsity.
So jam underway. Sydney throwing out a big jammer rotation here, trying to throw against the wall, see what sticks, and it's worked for Carnage here. She's got lead jammer for Sydney.
And here we have another power jam.
Cherry Bomb called for the track cut. So now Carnage, number 72 for the Snipers. She's got a chance here to take back the lead for the Snipers. So far, Varsity doing a good job of keeping her at bay. Heading to the outside, recycling to the back, and Maimon then making sure she takes the long route.
Once again, some great defensive work from Varsity. Pivot back on board for Sydney. Another blocker back on board for Sydney. And the bench signaling to call off the jam. Defense was just too tight from Varsity then. The advantage in the power jam was lost, although we'll start the next jam still in a power jam.
So Varsity doing a good job of killing that power jam, keeping the points to a minimum. 24-27, Varsity in the lead right now. Only 3 points in it. Halfway through this first half, we're seeing what is shortly going to be an amazing game for the rest of it. So Cherry Bomb back on track now. Sneaky Stackhouse yet to get out of that pack. And Cherry Bomb through, but picks up another track cut. Cherry Bomb back to the box. Power jam for Sneaky once again. Laceration, Laser Station, whatever you want to call her. She's doing a good job of hitting Sneaky to the outside. Sneaky with this helmet cover off, looking for the star pass. Varsity doing what they can to block it. Levi Strides is the pivot. She's trying to find it. Then Sneaky with the fake to do the star pass, then finds a gap. She's out now. Not lead jammer though, so no lead jammer in this jam. It will go the full 2 minutes.
And the power jam's finished. The great defense from Varsity allows Cherry Bomb to rejoin the fray. And look at that wall from Sydney, just holding back Cherry Bomb.
Just some amazing derby being played by both teams here. What a way to start the day for round number 2. Cherry Bomb now out on her scoring pass and forcing a track cut on Sneaky Stackhouse. Power jam now to Varsity.
And then we have no lead jammer, so we have 2 minutes with 23 seconds remaining.
4 points for Cherry Bomb. Varsity just killing these power jams for Sneaky Stackhouse. So that jam going the full 2 minutes, and Varsity coming out on top of that one. 33 plays 28. Both teams picking up points. Sneaky Stackhouse back on track. She's got one to beat. Picks up a lead jammer nice and quickly this time. Varsity's wall was spread out, not able to get that wall together. Now they have time to reset. Let's see what they can do to hold Sneaky.
So we are in a power jam. This will be all points to Sydney. If only she can get past the blockers.
So J-Pep's big hit to Sneaky there, but picking up a penalty for it.
Look at that Sydney wall. One large malleable mass.
Cherry Bomb having some trouble with his Sydney wall. We've seen, like, with such strong defense, it really needs some power. And Cherry Bomb, one of the more petite jammers out there today. Sneaky Stackhouse.
Well, Sydney taking advantage of the numerical advantage there.
Yeah, another 5 points on the board for Sydney. So Sydney now in the lead. 43 plays 34. Sneaky Stackhouse only adding to that here.
But that's another 5 points to Sydney. Jammer looking slow on the line there. Sneaky Stackhouse ambling around, back into the fray.
So this is the biggest lead we've had of the game. 14 points in at Sydney.
Jam comes to an end. We now have the Snipers leading 48 to Varsity's 34. And timeout being called by Varsity. By Varsity.
So if you are watching at home, don't forget to comment on the stream. We do like to interact with you throughout the programming. This stream, of course, brought to you by Sydney Derby Skates, sponsor of the 5x5 stream, and, of course, Downunder Derby TV. Follow them on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. So next jam's about to get underway. Sydney in control now. 17 points in it. This is the largest lead they've had. So Feisty now out. She's got lead jammer status for Sydney once again. The last few jams, momentum definitely swinging the Sniper's way.
And Feisty straight through, but the power jam is now over. And Cherry Bomb.
She's been on for about 4 jams now. Power jam's really killing her penalty count, meaning she's been going to the box, starting the next jam, going to the box, starting the next jam. And Sydney taking full advantage.
Indeed, well, Feisty Cuffs, MVP on the first round, and now we just see her skating relentlessly.
So Cherry Bomb getting out, finally getting a reprieve, and able to get a breather on the bench. So Sydney pouring on 30-odd points, or 40 points in the last couple of jams, all while Cherry Bomb was the jammer. Low down, hoedown, lead jammer once again for Sydney.
And it's another power jam.
Repercussions on her way to the box. Sydney have found their swagger, Sebastian. They got a bit of roll on at the moment and taking full advantage.
Well, it was great in round one that Southside had the advantage of the ramshackle Snipers, but now we've got the Snipers in full effect.
Took them a few jams to warm up and find their groove, but they've got it right now. And Lowdown Hoedown is jamming solo, looking to take advantage.
So it's only 27 points. We've still got 40-odd minutes of derby left.
A lot of derby left in this game, and roller derby is always a game of swings. Right now, we're on the upswing for Sydney. Let's see how Varsity responds. And Lowdown Hoedown, just as I said it, on her way to the box. Varsity with a chance here. Repercussions now out. No lead jammer, of course, so this one will go the full 2 minutes as well, but Repercussions looking for points.
And Sydney are down to 3 blockers. Let's see what damage Repercussions can do. No luck there getting past the 3. Forced way back down the track. Looking for her blockers to help her through. And now she's going solo against the 3 black Snipers. And almost makes it through.
So Repercussions, 5 points.
That was a hard 5 points though. And immediately, Sydney are back into attack.
So Lowdown, Hoedown, back on track. Repercussions, another 4 points added. Varsity regather the forces, trying to keep Lowdown to a single pass, but picking up 4.
Well, the leads now drop from 27 to 22. That's a hard way to make 5 points, BK.
Absolutely. All the skaters out there working very hard for their money today. Now, one thing you can't see on the stream, folks, you can obviously see how hard they're working, how strong those walls are, and how punishing that defensive. But what you can't see is how humid it is in here right now and how hot it is. So what they're doing out there is pretty amazing considering how stifling the conditions can be.
We're wiping the sweat off our brow just sitting at the commentary table.
Blocked her pussy. She's out and lead jammer for Varsity. So Snipers picking up a point against the lead there, and their wall doing a good job of keeping Block the Pussy to 0.
Indeed. So, of course, we may have the home court advantage to the Snipers here. The Snipers train in this venue. They're used to Sydney, the humidity, training in this unventilated hall. Canberra, of course, from the much cooler nation's capital.
That's right. Even though this is technically an Inner West Roller Derby League's home game, Sydney very, very familiar with this arena.
And as we say that, Laceration Laser Station makes it through to be lead jammer against Feisty Cuffs. We know that Feisty won't be happy about that, but she is still held up behind the grey. And watching Feisty, she's running on her skates, barely skating, running to get through the defence.
Her running style of skating, just fast on her feet, up on her toes, and push hard. SRDL 66, Varsity 47. So Cherry Bomb back on track. She's jamming for Varsity and being held at bay by a hell of a strong three-wall. Sneaky Stackhouse, the same problems up front from Varsity with that triangle defense. Chili Pepper dragging it the long way back.
And Cherry Bomb does make it through. She is lead jammer, but only just in front of Sneaky Stackhouse. Oh, and a little jump through the inside. Doesn't score any points though. 0-all. Just over 4 minutes left in the first half. Sydney still leading by 19 points.
Now, one of the things you'll see out there today, Sebastian, a lot of the skaters are wearing a turquoise armband, wristband. Varsity have it tied into their helmets at the back, you can see. That is, of course, a tribute to the tragic loss of a roller derby skater from the States, Casper, number 57. Tragic circumstances. Committing suicide, but these skaters wanting to get the word out and support that you're never alone, there's always another way, and they're showing the support by wearing a turquoise band in support of number 57, Casper.
Indeed, you'll see the band on the wrist of the Sydney skaters. If you're watching this on replay, get online, type in "Do It for 57," read the story. It's a sad story, but Derby is all about inclusion.
So Lee Jammer with Varsity blocked a pussy, doing a hell of a job. Big hit from Carnage coming full steam at Red Hot Chili Pepper. Now, one thing, Sebastian, Red Hot Chili Pepper, number 23 for Varsity with the colourful skates, over the off-season has, I don't know what she's been eating, what she's been doing, but a remarkable physical change. She's shed a ton of weight over the off-season, or not a ton of weight, that's maybe a bit mean, but looking mean, looking fit. I hardly even recognized her out there when the game started. I was like, who's wearing Chili Pepper's jersey? But she's looking strong today. Last year's blocker of the year for the Armageddon division.
Meanwhile, Laceration Laser Station has made it around the block. Made it through the pack almost. And there she is. She's made it through the point. Makes 5 points by taking out the jammer on that last pass. So Laceration, a.k.a. Laser Station, now going through again. Tiptoes on the insides and forced out back to the pack. And that's another 5 points for Varsity. What a jam. Skating like it's a power jam.
So the last couple of jams, I talked about momentum swings and shifts that you see in games, and we've seen a couple here. Varsity, the last few jams, putting their authority down and taking back the lead from Sydney.
That was a power jam score without a power jam. 2 grand slams against Sydney.
So now 74 plays 66. What a game we're seeing. Only 1 minute left. This is the last jam before half-time. And Sebastian, if this is the first half, I can't wait to see what the second one's like.
Indeed, there's going to be a lot of talk going on in that change room. The locker room is going to be full of strategy.
If only our stream cameras could go into those changes and catch the halftime speech. Not for any dirty reasons, just to hear what the coaches say.
Indeed, there's going to be a lot of emotion in there. I certainly expect more timeouts in the second half. It's going to come down to the wire. Fisticuffs, once again, the go-to jammer.
Fast moving pack. Fisticuffs picking up points and calling it off.
4 points to Feisty, 0 points to Block the Pussy. We're going to finish this half at 74-70.
Official review has been called by Varsity now. Of course, they do get 1 per half, so I don't know if Sheriff just wanted to make sure he got his in, or if he actually has something to review here.
Well, certainly that review may allow them to have a final jam. 0 time on the clock. So momentum has gone both ways.
So as we suspected, Sheriff doing the smart thing there, of course, with the new rule set for 2015, Wooftada in all their wisdom knew that a lot of bench managers were calling official reviews only to use as a pseudo timeout. So that's what Sheriff has done here, calling that official review, but in effect saving a timeout because you get 3 per game. They now have their 3 full timeouts up their sleeve for the second half, and in effect getting a timeout, 1 minute's worth in fact, and 1 more jam.
Indeed, Sheriff of course benching for Varsity. Varsity have the momentum now. They've come back from 20 points to take a 4-point lead. He wants to keep that momentum before second half.
Absolutely. See if they can keep it rolling into the half and go into Oranges with a bit of confidence on their side. Laceration with the star for Varsity in grey. She's number 0 up against Sneaky Stackhouse.
And have a look at that triangular wall from Varsity. Sneaky Stackhouse is not through yet. Meanwhile, Varsity are on the scoring run.
So far, that official review / timeout paying off for Varsity, and Laceration showing some fancy feet and picking up 4 points, calling it off, extending their lead as they go into half-time. 78 plays 70.
Indeed, 4-0 takes to an 8-point lead. Momentum maintained by Varsity.
Hell of a first half here, Sebastian. So many lead changes. If you're doing the drinking game at home, you'd probably be pretty drunk by now. But what a game, what a first half. Lots of action on offer, lots of really, really strong defense. And we did see as the half went on, that loosened up a little bit. Right? They're getting warmer, they're finding their gaps, they're knowing and reading the opposition. And also just as time goes on, they're playing in very humid conditions. The fatigue factor started to set in, the wall's not quite as strong, and points started to open up a little bit.
I'm pretty sure that wall at the end there was as strong as it was at the start. I think it's just the jammers are warming up. Their agility is increasing. They're taking more risks now than they did in the opening jams.
And it is paying off for both of them.
Indeed it is. Anyway, so we're in half-time for the next 14 minutes.
Absolutely. So stay tuned, folks. We've also got, throughout the day today, the stream broadcast. You'll see Snack Life. You'll see Eat Like a Lion. You'll see Confessions of Derby Girl. All that coming. Sebastian's Lounge.
I'll be back.
Coming up. So keep tuned, folks, here at the 5x5 Roller Derby Championship, round number 2.
Hi, I'm Susie from Sydney Derby Skates. We stock a wide range of products from all the best brands. Did you know that the Sydney Derby Skates website is up to date with stock levels and will only let you buy something if it's actually in stock? We pride ourselves on having awesome customer service and very quick delivery. Usually items are sent the very same day you place your order.
The Sydney Dogs and Cats Home takes in over 4,000 homeless animals every year. The job of finding new owners can take up to several months, and upgrades to the pet enclosures are urgently needed. You can help by making a tax-deductible donation or adopting a pet yourself. Go to sydneydogsandcatshome.org to find out more and help give these animals what they need most, a loving home. This ad is sponsored in part by IAMS Pet Food.
All right, we're back for half number 2 of this game 1. You saw a bit of the comedy stylings of melodrama there, Sebastian.
Indeed, one of the commentators from the Inner West Roller Derby League, she's doing the live coverage as we speak. And if you're lucky, you might hear her voice coming in over the top of ours.
She will definitely be on the stream later on today. So if you're paying attention, you get to hear some of those pearls of wit on the stream as well.
And we've just finished Gear Check. Now, Kahuna, I actually really like Gear Check. I like to spend the time to look at the different sorts of wheels people are using. Look at the skate, the knee pad stylings. Lots of zebra stripes out there. I love the animal print. I like to just admire the fashion that goes into the athletes.
That is, of course, the priority and what the referees are checking for when they do Gear Checks.
Oh, look, I've got a different lifestyle to the referees. They might be checking for safety. I'm checking for glamour. It's like going to tennis. You want to see what Serena Williams is wearing. I want to come out here. I want to see what Feisty Cups is wearing. We know she loves cosplay.
Well, there is a lot of adjectives that people can use in their derby names, etc. Sebastian just happens to be the fabulous Sebastian. So what you're seeing up here on screen, folks, is some pretty nifty technology. Points per jam, the highest jam throughout the first half. We had a 23.1 there going Sydney's way, which got them the lead in the first place. But a lot of lead jammer both ways. And as I said, I mentioned the momentum shifts and the swings that you can see. And you can see in the bottom half, Varsity Derby League putting up a string of jams at 7, 8 in a row where they were getting lead jammer, then a few more going Sydney's way. And this is the sort of thing we want to bring you here from the 5x5 Championship. And game number 1, round 2, half 2, has begun with Varsity in control. Lead jammer status to Block to Pussy. Feisty Cuffs held up in this pack.
So Feisty Cuffs with a jump to the inside. But Varsity had already ran and made this scoring pass. So Varsity keeping the momentum from the first half. They'll be excited about that.
Getting out to a good start in this second. 82 plays 70.
We've just seen Sheriff from Varsity head out to the center of the track, but he doesn't appear to be calling a timeout or a review.
So skaters are ready to go, but head referee Axiom Attic has called an official timeout. They're talking something over around the penalty box. Can't really see what's going on right now, but hopefully we'll get some clarification.
So confusion straight away here at Sydney Boys High. Axiom Attic now reffing these, now calling over, calling the game back into action. Oh, now we've got the blockers moving up. We don't have to see the distance between the jammers and the blockers. We're going old school today. And always nice to have a full contingency on the track. May not happen for long.
So jam underway with Laceration jamming for Varsity. She's at the front of this pack. Sneaky Stackhouse seeing some daylight. And she gets out for lead jammer for Sydney. Laceration going with her, though. Couple of strides behind Sneaky Stackhouse on the hunt for some points.
Indeed, and Laceration Laser Station overtaking Sneaky Stackhouse.
Forcing the call off. Good defensive jamming from Laceration and Varsity. It's not many people out there that can chase down Sneaky Stackhouse. So next jam underway, or about to get underway. Repercussions, captain of the Dishonour Rollers. She steps up to the line, up against Lowdown Hoedown. Lowdown Hoedown, number 14 in the black and red. Repercussions, 76. She's called for a back block. That's her second back block today. She's on her way to the box. So Lowdown Hoedown with a power jam here. And with only 12 points in it, chance here for Snipers to take back the lead.
So 12-point the difference, but look at that defense from Varsity. There's no way through for Lowdown Hoedown. The four wall of grey.
Varsity, just remarkable defense.
A great shoulder block there. And still no way through. We've been going for 45 seconds. Jam is still caught up. And now Lowdown Hoedown through the inside.
So full 30 seconds it took her to get through for that first pass. Repercussions now back on track, but Lowdown Hoedown. Oh, she goes down and calls it off from the ground.
And there may have been 0 points.
Here's an action replay for you, Sebastian. That's right, we got action replay. How good is this, folks?
Sorry, we're very excited here. New technology coming to play for our broadcast. Not only do we give you start to finish entertainment, we give you replay and statistic.
So here we can see Lowdown Hoedown looking for a gap. Super slow-mo. It's like a real sport.
It is a real sport. It's like real coverage is what you mean to say.
So here we have Feisty Cast jamming and finding a way around the outside.
That's what you thought.
Oh, but Red Hot Chili Pepper called for the elbow. Tough call, that one. Laceration out in front, but Feisty is lead jammer and calls it off.
Indeed, she was trailing there. Knew she would have been outscored. Playing it safe. Indeed, like multiple camera angles, replays, statistics, live feed. I mean, the cricket coverage has nothing on us. Well, the score is still 12 points. Hasn't changed in the last couple of jams.
So Block to Pussy now out. She's got lead jammer for Varsity. Sneaky finding her way through. She's now on a scoring pass, but Block to Pussy with a chance here to extend the lead. Hits to the inside, calls it off. And Block to Pussy picking up 3 there, extending the lead, 15 points in it now. Multiplayer block called on Sydney while they hit Block to Pussy to the inside.
It's after the blistering start from Varsity, the scoring has slowed down as Sydney's found its feet again.
So it looks like we do have a fan out there of the stats that we put up, Sebastian. So Michael Mitten said, I want to see more stats. So hopefully we'll get more of those as the day progresses and the game goes on. Feisty Cuffs jamming for Sydney. She finds a way through to lead jammer status.
So Feisty Cuffs once again the go-to jammer for the Snipers. And look at that power. Flying through there like an icebreaker, not slowing down.
Feisty Cuffs approached that pack with speed and called for a track cut. She's on her way to the box. Power jam here for Cherry Bomb.
On Cherry Bomb, what a
Cherry Bomb.
lovely little pirouette to the inside.
5 points for Varsity. No lead jammer again. Full 2-minute jam here.
And the bench calling Cherry Bomb on. Continue. Little shimmy to the outside, but knocked way back to the pack.
3 aside here in the packs. Cherry Bomb with a little bit more room to breathe. But Sydney's still doing a good job of keeping her and forcing the track cut. So Cherry Bomb on her way to the box now. They'll tag in, tag out. Fisticuffs back on track.
Indeed, Cherry Bomb thought she had the room on the inside, but she didn't. Fisticuffs thought she had the room on the outside, but captures the shoulder from Varsity.
Red Hot Chili Pepper again. Some phenomenal defense there. Fisticuffs right on the line. She likes to live on the edge, Sebastian.
Indeed, lucky we don't have the hotspot camera. Or we might be calling that in for review.
Based on what we've seen so far, it's only around the corner, really.
Cherry Bomb
technology.
Cherry Bomb takes a heavy fall on her back. But she's back up.
So that jam going the full 2 minutes with Cherry Bomb gingerly getting to her feet.
Oh, the stats are back up.
So in the second half, lead jammer going Sydney's way much more often. A strong start to the second half here for the Snipers. 3 in a row lead jammer, then 1 to Varsity. And of course in that last one we didn't see any lead jammer.
An official timeout being called.
So that last jam, power jams each way, both jammers into the box, out of the box. 8-5 Varsity's way. They're extending their lead. It's now 93-75. A close game the whole way through.
And with Varsity maintaining that lead. They took it towards the end of the first half. They've maintained it going into the second half.
Yeah, they started out strong. Sydney came on in about that the first third there, I guess, if you will. And Varsity able to stave them off and maintain so far. Official review is in play once again.
Of course, another thing I always like watching is the mannerisms of the referees and the officials. How they actually signal the official timeout. In cricket, we watch how people do the 4s and 6s. Very elaborate. And here we have some beautiful movements here for the official timeout.
They make an O with their hands. Makes sense.
Well, he's doing a touch his shoulder, somewhat like a teapot dance.
The NSO signal.
Yeah.
You can even do the sound effects with it and stuff.
Little turn of the hips. Oh, look at that. A nice little kick of the heels, like a little curtsy.
Spirit of fingers. Always on top of his game.
Oh, look at that. Taking a distraction, the few symbols there.
Lass and J-Pep's doing a bit of whirling dervishes there.
Indeed.
So elegant, so lovely.
Except for 30 seconds time where they're going to be bashing the living daylights out of each other.
Again, you can see the stats up on screen, folks. As much as we've seen a lot of lead jammer going each way, you can see the points that have been scored in each jam are quite low. A lot of jams going with no points at all, speaking as a testament to how strong the defense has been throughout the whole game.
It is interesting that both teams have strong defense. We don't have a defensive team against an offensive team. Both teams are going out, playing a very similar strategy.
Both teams very competent, no doubt. Here's a replay of some of the strongest jamming you'll see today. Fisticuffs
being taken.
Fancy feet.
Indeed, but Cleaver pushing her out of bounds, forcing Feisty back on the insides before calling off the jam. And great agility from Cleaver there. Skaters still waiting around for the official review to be completed. Back on the replay. There we see Feisty getting some air. And look how quickly she's back up on her feet to rejoin the action.
So we got some commentary from the elite captain, Sebastian. Said that the quality is very nice today on the stream. So that's good to hear. We're doing a good job.
Indeed, Kahuna and I are sitting in a... I feel like I'm in a spaceship. We've got so many cables and
There's
bits of
monitors
equipment.
and TVs everywhere.
It's like being on the set of Alien, like that crude sort of science fiction film.
Mission Control here from Sydney Boys High.
Yeah.
In fact, we could probably launch a rocket ship with the technology we have here compared to what was done in 69.
Well, 69, the technology was so crude. We could go somewhere, I think, with this technology. All we need is fuel. And maybe there'll be some fuel after your snack show later today.
Absolutely. We've got to keep fueled up. Snack Life coming at you today with special guest hosts. Unfortunately, Denominator could not make it today. So it's going to be myself and Gajilla sold separately. A true fan of snacks in general. She's all about that snack life as well. And who are you talking to in your Sebastian's Lounge, Sebastian?
I'm actually talking to Godzilla as well. So she's filling in for everybody today.
Versatile.
So lots of interesting questions for Godzilla coming up. She's been around roller derby.
If you do have any questions you want, and you're watching at home, questions specifically for Gajilla sold separately, an icon of the sport in New South Wales, put your comments on the feed and we'll make sure we can get it. We'll see if we can get them to her.
And then she's currently out at other derby action at present, and I might very well talk to her to that in Sebastian's Lounge. In fact, I think I can see Sebastian's Lounge set up in the corner over there. Well, the official review there, because one of the referees was in need of medical attention. I'm going to put that down to the environment inside the stadium. The heat, the humidity, there's no airflow.
Zero airflow.
So you're skating around in a helmet and a mouth guard. You are going to be flabbergasted. So he was in need of some oxygen and some water. But back in action now. And there goes Cherry Bomb. Flying through. And we are in a power jam at present as well. Sydney down their jammer. Varsity taking advantage. They only have 2 blockers though, up against the 4 blockers of Sydney. But Cherry Bomb is not going to let that hold her back. And she's through for a good 5 points.
So Cherry Bomb getting 5, calling it off, wanting the next jam to start with power jam again for Varsity.
And looks like we have another official timeout.
Official timeout is in play. I think they're trying to clarify the points on the scoreboard. Oh, sorry, the in-house scoreboard not updating or something along those lines. Technical difficulties either way. We said it was mission control. Houston, we have a problem.
And indeed, we do have a problem.
Be waiting to use that one. Got it out there, Sebastian.
What we need is one of those flashcards that comes up when the TV stations go down. That says technical
Play
difficulties.
some music.
We need. We could sing. We could hum. We could
you
beatbox.
hum.
Surely you
I
could beatbox, Kahuna.
You could sing. We'll do it that way. The soul brother Sebastian here. He's not the whitest man on earth, I swear.
I'm pretty white. If you saw me dance, you'd say I was pretty white.
Now, if you do like a bit of that hip-hop action, the show Snack Life, you will see at the halftime of game number 3 today, it has a new theme tune. Written and produced by myself. Lyrics all about snacks.
I am excited about that. You won't believe how excited I am.
So if you listen to the 5x5 podcast, was released last night, breaking down all the events of today, hearing expert commentary and analysis and review. and a little bit of just mucking around as well. You would have heard that song there. But round number 2 getting off to a hell of a start here. Lots of officials reviews in place, but a lot of really strong derby action to get the day started.
And it's good to have a close game. I think the viewers love it when the game is close. You might like it when your team wins by a blowout, but the excitement level of a close game is so much more intense.
Absolutely. And this game right here, Varsity versus Sydney, if you're in the 5x5 tipping competition, I'm sure this one would have been a headache to pick.
Indeed, who would you know? Snipers are unknown force. They really are an unknown force. We didn't see them at their best in the first round.
Absolutely.
We knew they were going to be better, but are they going to be better than Varsity? Are they going to be better than Southside when the Snipers are at full effect?
Well, the Snipers already played Southside, so the only way they'll meet is in the final.
Indeed, Southside demolished them in the first round.
So, folks, we do have some technical difficulties, as we said. Our production are swapping out the hardware. I think it's the scoreboards for the house here. Obviously, that doesn't affect you at home, but for the people here in attendance, we do need to make sure it's up and running, because that scoreboard is what the game runs off.
But looks like we're now back to the action. We do have a full set of blockers out there, but Feisty Cups is still in the penalty box. So we're starting with a power jam for Varsity.
Now, James Connor has asked if we can get a shot of penalty boards. James, we'll see what we can do, mate. I think that is something we want to get up and running. So stay tuned. We'll see if we can get an idea of where people are sitting penalty-wise.
So even though we started in a power jam, Feisty Cups has come out of the box and taken the lead jammer. Feisty Cups once again jamming unbelievably well.
Feisty Cups
for
showing
Sydney.
some smooth moves and picking up 4 points for the Snipers. When defense is so strong and points are so few and far between, getting a clean 4 points is like an oasis in the desert.
Particularly when you start the jam in the penalty box. She came out of the penalty box.
Picks up lead, picks up points, calls it off. It's just what Feisty does.
It is. When she's not cosplaying. And we have another official timeout.
So now we have another official doing the official timeout. That's Switzerland. And I'm sure she'll be really pleased to know that we're talking about that it's her birthday today.
That's great that she's a birthday. And her style of official signalling is a bit like a picture plant. If you've ever seen the insect-eating picture plant, it unfurls and furls up. That seems to be the style that she is going for today.
So happy birthday to Switzerland. We might get Sebastian to sing happy birthday for you later.
Or beatbox, happy birthday.
Yeah, beatbox, happy birthday. So next, a jam about to get underway. Varsity in the triangle at the back. That triangle defense has been so effective for them today. Snipers doing the same up the front. Laceration jamming against Sneaky Stackhouse. And there you see that triangle once again. J-Peps dragging Sneaky back. Wash, rinse, and repeat.
Both jammers.
So Dirt now doing a good job on bringing Sneaky back. Laceration having similar troubles at the front. And Sneaky Stackhouse is the lead jammer for Sydney.
And look at some great bit of shepherding there.
Yeah, getting a ride off a blocky Balboa. Sneaky Stackhouse picking up 4 and calling it off.
Great strategy. Blocky Balboa cutting through the pack. Sneaky Stackhouse in the slipstream scores the 4. And here comes the replay. Look at Blocky Balboa shoveling skaters aside. Sneaky gets the last line of defense for herself. Strides through for 4 points. What a great replay that was, Kahuna.
Really good job there from Robertson, Dunn on the replay angles there. Repercussion. Fancy feet. She gets away through the lead jammer.
Indeed, tiptoes. Carnage is now coming through, half a lap behind the action.
Repercussion on her way to the box. Back block once again. I think that's maybe her 4th back block call today. Something to look at for the Varsity Dishonour Rollers.
So here we go with Carnage. Scores 5 points. Sydney are 15 points behind. 3 passes will tie the game.
The defense we've been seeing today is not going to give up 3 passes, I don't think.
Well, she's made 2 passes. That's 10 points.
And as soon as I say it, they're going to prove me wrong, of course.
So this clean pass will need a tied game. There are only 2 blockers out there from Varsity. And look
There
at
it is.
Sneaky goes through. Score is
Carnage ties
tied.
it up.
Score is tied at 98 points. Power play is over. And Sneaky through again.
So Carnage now looking for more here. Some great one-on-one defense there from Terrence Smackdill, taking Carnage out. Carnage looking to call it off. Not lead jammer. Oh, confusion there on the track. Carnage on her way back to the bench.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, Repercussions picking up points. Carnage thought she was lead, and game over. Jam referee giving her no love out there at all.
Indeed, Repercussions there picks up 5, gets a grand slam of her own. Well, we had a lead change, we had a catch up, a lead change, and then a lead change again.
2 lead changes in the one jam.
Varsity back now to 8 points in front. And we're going old school on the startup to get the triangle blocking. The feisty cuffs is up there for Sydney.
So Varsity wall up at the front. Sydney take the back wall. Feisty Cuffs want to beat. Big hit to the outside. But Feisty Cuffs, the lead jammer for Sydney. Blocked a pussy now out on her scoring pass. Feisty's got a lap on her.
And it's now a power jam.
Oh, low block called on Blocked a pussy. So Feisty Cuffs picks up 4.
I don't think Feisty had seen the signal there that it was a power jam.
No, I think she would have kept the long point run going there.
And it all happened on the far side of the track. But the snipers will start in the power jam situation. Varsity have 4 blockers out there. It's a big looking wall from Varsity. And official timeout called again. So while this game is still close, 15 minutes remaining in the second half. 5 points the difference. We're going to resume with a power jam. Oh, and look at that flashing logo on the coverage.
So big thank you to Sydney Derby Skates, proud sponsor of the 5x5 stream. This stream, of course, brought to you by Downunder Derby TV. Subscribe on YouTube so you make sure you get all the videos that come out of the 5x5.
I'm certainly looking forward to Snack Life later in the coverage today. I generally base my weekday meals around what I see on Snack Life.
You're a fan. You're such a fan of Snack Life, Sebastian, that you've brought snacks for us.
It's the least I could do given the inspiration you provide me.
Wasabi crispy peas will be coming up today.
I'm actually looking forward to you eating the jellies one day, sucking back the little jellies that come from Chinatown.
I'm looking forward to Snack Life today. Me and Gonjila sold separately coming up. Game number 3.
And we've just seen Fisticuffs off into the bin. So it's a power jam for Varsity. They lead by 5. And Block the Pussy cannot make it through. Looks like the pack might be out of bounds and they are going to have to let it go. Indeed, the Snipers forced to let Block the Pussy through.
So Block the Pussy did get out, but she's not lead jammer. No penalty, no pass, no penalty, sorry. So power jam, but no lead, which means Sydney will have the chance here via Fisticuffs to pick up lead out of the penalty box. So there's 5 points for Block the Pussy. Fisticuffs still held up with some fierce walls from Varsity.
Fisticuffs, the smaller skater on track, up against probably the largest skaters on track, and yet she makes it through.
Not lead jammer. So lead jammer was available there, but Fisticuffs not getting awarded.
Oh, and she gets slammed to the outside again. Fisticuffs is spending a lot of time on her butt today.
Block the Pussy getting through for another 5 points. So micro packs 2-on-2.
And another official timeout being called. So second half, not the momentum of the first half.
No, lots of defense coming up and keeping jammers to short scoring passes. 119-105. Varsity still in control of this game. 13 minutes left. And there we see the points per jam spread again. And you can see second half, lots more stingy defense from both sides, not allowing any much points out. Only a few going past, more than one pass. Varsity getting the best of it, however.
Indeed, Varsity with a 14-point lead.
One really interesting thing, you saw a streak of 3 jams, all lead jamming to Sydney, but no points scored, either team.
And there's that great defense from Varsity, just not letting that jammer through on the scoring pass.
So there's a shot of Block to Pussy in full stride. Jamming her ass off here today, keeping Varsity in the lead off the back of some really strong packs.
And there's our 3-dimensional logo. That looks like Star Wars quality to me.
Small things, eh, Sebastian? Small
Well,
things.
Star Wars quality. Star Wars quality CGI. There's some great slow-mo action there.
So that's a Block to Pussy meeting Goldie Horn square in the chest. Nice to meet you, they say, as they both go down.
And now we're back and look at the decimation on the track. The packs have been halved.
Micro packs, both sides. Bit of room to play for the jammers. We've got Laceration up against Sneaky Stackhouse.
And we have the official timeout again. prematurely excited then, thinking the action was back.
Sneaky Stackhouse in her signature artistic skates there, showing some dance moves of what she did for so many years in her artistic background.
Kahuna, would you describe your background as artistic?
Some may say I'm on the artistic spectrum. Laceration, Sneaky Stackhouse, and both jammers finding their way through. Lass just happens to get there first. So Laser Station is lead jammer for Varsity.
And Laser Station is fast, but so is the pack in front of her. Sydney trying to drag the pack away from her. And Laceration Laser Station calls off the jam, preventing Stackhouse from scoring. Well, the bench is emptied in Varsity's favour. They're now 4-3 for blockers.
So still only 14 points in it. 12 minutes left in this game. This one's going to come right down to the wire. Carnage up against Repercussion for Varsity. Carnage number 72 in the black. Repercussion 76 in the grey.
Carnage has made it through. Just outstripped. Oh, but sandwiched by Varsity. And Carnage is now being sent to the bin as well.
So Laceration, lead jammer, and a power jam. So no Laceration, Repercussions, I apologise. So strong defence from Sydney, forcing her the long way back. Stockard slamming, doing a hell of a job there for the Snipers. Brad Pitt now forcing her down and out and dragging her back. So Sydney doing a good job of minimising this power jam. And Carnage back on the track. I think both teams here, Sebastian, are sending a very scary message to the rest of the division with the defense we're seeing here today.
Indeed. I think the message is, we're going to hit you hard.
A low scoring game, but plenty of power on the defensive side. Here's a shot of Repercussions getting through for a scoring pass.
And apparently we have another... Can't see if it's a timeout or an official timeout. So hard to keep the momentum up in the second half with all the stoppages. Signal out now for the official timeout. Could be down to more technical difficulties. But at least we have replays to keep us entertained.
So apparently we've lost our second laptop, scoreboard laptop. So 2 laptops in the one game going down. So this is for the house, of course. We're keeping it going for the stream. I don't know if we're going to steal some of the technology from the stream here, because there's a shit ton there's a lot of laptops around us.
And most of them are broken.
Yeah, apparently.
possibly the heat in the venue.
It could be overheating.
It's a beautiful autumn day here in Sydney.
It could just be struggling with the action that's, furiously being put into it by the action out on the track. So this is game number 1, Snipers versus the Dishonour Rollers, Sydney versus Varsity. Coming up next on this track, you are going to see game number 2. It goes to the Battlegrounds division, and it'll be Hards Kamikazes taking on Central Coast Roller Girls Valkyries.
Certainly the 5x5 tournament taking teams in from all around the Sydney Basin. So next up we have teams from the Central Coast and teams from Hawkesbury.
From Canberra all the way up to Newcastle.
All the way down to Wollongong.
With the full spread.
And
it's surely a statewide competition.
Growing every year.
Absolutely.
3 years ago, the first tournament, there were only 5 teams.
And the furthest that we went was Central Coast. So there was mostly Sydney-based. It was South Side, Inner West, Blue Mountains, Hard, and Central Coast. Now we expand out to include teams like Newcastle, Varsity, Sydney. So there's a lot of teams coming into play here. Northern Beaches.
And of course the big question, well, who can take out Southside? Winners for the first 2 years. This year, much tougher competition with the new blood that's come in.
Oh, absolutely. But just look at the gameplay that we're seeing. I don't think anything is secure. Nothing's locked up. Southside did win in round number 1, but the performance we're seeing here from Varsity and Snipers as well sends troubling signs to the rest of the division.
And what happens in the first round is not indicative of what will happen in the later rounds.
But unfortunately, it does have an impact. So Sydney did go down in the first. If they go down today, it could potentially mean their season's done within the first 2 rounds.
Indeed, they can win every other game, but those 2 losses and a big loss in the first round.
Absolutely. So with only 4 games to play in the 5-team division, win-loss fact does come into play first. But if there's a tie on points, then point differential does kick. So even if Sydney does lose here or Varsity does lose here, they want to make sure it's as close as possible.
And certainly a long time out here while our officials try to find a working laptop.
Just finding a spare laptop sitting in your pocket.
I'm thinking we go to pencil and paper with a phone camera.
I blame Bill Gates.
Well, I believe we're using Apple products.
I blame Steve Jobs. They're the only 2 people I can name. Stephen Hawking? No, that doesn't count. Dr. Carl. It's definitely Dr. Carl's fault. So I've got the thumbs up. We are good to go once again. So a 3rd laptop has been found. After that one goes, I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the day. Has anyone got an abacus they can bring in?
That would be good. I'd like to see some scoring on the abacus.
I guess it goes to show, like, we've come a long way from when Dobie first started in the area. We'd actually use the scoreboard in the school hall.
Indeed, we used to use the basketball scoreboard.
Now we've got the Carolina Roller Girls scoreboard, but showing you some of the problems that could come with it. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, blocked a pussy. Huge apex jump there for 5 points. Lowdown Hoedown is trying to catch up, but blocked a pussy. Showing some great moves and calling it off. 4 more points for Varsity.
So just over 10 minutes left, 21 points to Varsity. They don't look to be giving up this lead, but they're only holding on to it by a slight margin every jam.
So Laceration now jamming up against Sneaky Stackhouse. Sorry, Laser Station. Not sure which one she prefers. I think she'll answer to both though.
I understood that we made the rules that any name we use
It works.
Either way,
we're right.
is official.
So Laser Station is out and lead jammer. Sneaky Stackhouse now giving chase.
So the pack moving at a good pace. Laceration Laser Station is now upon them, going to the outside. Not sure if she scored any points there. Can't see the referees holding up a score. Ends up with 2 points for that jam. So Feisty Cup's not been given any rest. Sent back into the pack.
Repercussions hit to the outside. She's recycled to the back, but Carnage, she's jamming for Sydney and having all sorts of trouble with its Varsity wall. Clearing a path for Repercussions. Lead jammer to Varsity once again. Oh, great job there by Sydney, forcing the cut on Repercussions. Power jam now to Carnage and Sydney.
So let's see what energy Carnage has left. Let's see what her pack can do for her.
Well, it will go the full 2 minutes as well. There's still over a minute in this jam for Carnage to get through, but she's only on her initial pass so far.
And she keeps being knocked back to the pack. And now she's made it through the outside. She's going to need to dig deep now. 56 seconds left in the jam.
So Varsity again showing their defense, keeping their jammer in a power jam for a full minute.
Bakana just made 5. The power jam is over.
So Repercussions back on track. Now remember, she did complete scoring passes before going to the box. So this is for scoring pass now for both skaters. Both jammers, sorry.
Oh, big shoulder block there.
Blocky Balboa just laying the smackdown on Repercussions on the outside.
Well, have a look at Cleaver is just slamming into Carnage. Cleaver using all the drill. Cleaver's now throwing her teammate at Carnage.
There's 4 more points for Carnage.
Cleaver
and
physically
4 more for Repercussions. What a jam. I'm tired looking at them.
And the end result is still an 18-point difference.
The punishment that they're putting out, 9-4 to Sydney in that one. So a good jam for Sydney. Chipping away, but Varsity holding on to the lead.
I'm giving my player of the day to Cleaver for throwing block the pussy at Carnage. A timeout called by the Snipers, I believe. 6.5 minutes on the clock.
So this is pressure time. This is clutch time. Can Sydney pull it out of the fire? Icy Red stepping up to the line. So you can see there both jammers experiencing the difficulty that is the opposition wall.
How many times can you be knocked down in a game? Repercussions there on the inside. Nice stride.
There's a penalty overlay. We can see Sneaky Stackhouse in a fair bit of trouble on 6. 1 to go. 6 minutes left. Can she see it out? She's really the only one in any danger for Snipers.
And have a look at Feisty Cups there. Been on track for most of the jams with no penalties against the name.
Yeah, so a few clean slates there for the Snipers. Laceration, lead jammer for Varsity.
Icy Red is on her trail, but Laceration Laser Station has the lead. So a 1-0 jam.
So Sydney getting 1 against the lead there. They're going to need a few more than that with under 6 minutes left in this game. Still a close one, 17 points in it. But Icy Red sneaking through there. Get low, get low. Blocked a pussy. A lot of success so far in this game and doing it once again for Varsity. Sneaky Stackhouse, remember, is on 6 penalties. She's jamming for the Snipers here.
Oh, what turns from Blocked Pussy. Picks up 5 points for that pass.
Blocked a pussy, showing all the range of skills she's got.
And there she goes with a sweet little move.
So we've had a star pass for the Snipers.
Meanwhile, Blocked Pussy is grand slamming.
Chu Wacker with the star stashed. She's got the pivot on top at the moment, but holding the star cover in her hand. Still not getting through. Blocked a pussy. 2 grand slams on with the jammer on the track. Chu Wacker now out. So she pulls the star on. She's now got the opportunity to pick up points, but Blocked a pussy, fully aware, calls it off, and a strong jam there at the right time for Varsity.
Indeed, a great 10-0 Varsity jam. Now their leader's out to 27 points.
14 points, in fact. She did pick up an extra 4 for that last pass. So that could be
31 points.
31 points, not out of the realm of possibility. But if what we've seen so far in this game, points are hard to come by. 31 points, although in a normal game would not be much of a buffer. You wouldn't relax on that. But based on the defense we've seen, this could be enough of a cushion for Varsity.
And not surprising to see Sydney calling a timeout. They are going to need up with a new plan.
Although, of course, now that I've said that, I may have just jinxed Varsity. That's what I always do.
Well, we'll see what Sydney can pull out of their hat.
Varsity showing all sorts of calm and controlled play here, doing some really good work.
Because enjoying those slow motion replays. And looking forward to the day that we have the drone coverage. Looking forward to find a sponsor for a drone.
Varsity penalty board. A whole bunch of skaters with some high penalty numbers. Cherry Bomb and Terra Smackta with 6 apiece. Repercussion with 5. So Cherry Bomb, 6 penalties, 4 of them for track cut. So Sydney doing a good job of forcing the errors there on Cherry Bomb. But Carnage now with the star for Snipers, sorry. Carnage with the star for the Snipers. And Laser Station pushing hard for Varsity.
Finally makes it past Feisty Cuffs. So Varsity once again lead jammer. 31-point lead.
Depleted packs both sides. 2 plays 3. Advantage to the Snipers. But Laceration swings the hips and calls it off. Another strong jam for the Varsity Dishonour Rollers, courtesy of Laser Station.
So Varsity creep out a little bit more, 35 points.
So that's Icy Red lining up for the Snipers now, number 23, up against 007, blocked a pussy for Varsity.
And Icy Red almost through, but taken down.
J-Peps, the last line of defense once again.
Terrence Smackdill doing a great job there. And now Icy Red finds herself trapped behind 3. Her teammates come to help break it up, but Varsity a lead jammer and coming up on a scoring pass. Block the pussy is now scoring points. Doesn't call off the jam, trying to run
Icy
down the
Red
clock.
Quickly approaching. So getting the signal from the bench coach, block the pussy, they say keep it going. And with their defense keeping their passes longer and longer, why not?
Varsity are in a position where they can run down the clock. 2 minutes now. Blocked the pussy, makes it through. Scores 5 points on that pass. As Icy Red is still caught up with the blockers.
Icy Red now, 4 points.
Block the pussies now, ambles through the park. She's limping, she's sore, she's tired. She scores 4 points.
So they're going point for point now, 4 points apiece, but the clock keeps on ticking. Blocked a pussy, another 4 points. Icy Red gets held up though. And jam comes to its natural conclusion. 2 minutes of exhausting, hard action. So Red Hot Chili Pepper picking up a low block right as that game come to a close. That jam, sorry, not that game.
And timeout being called by Sydney. Just on 40 seconds on the clock. Sydney have called a timeout. They'll be looking for a major play here.
So again, official review is in place here, and we see the points per jam for the Snipers.
So team is making it back. There is 42 seconds on the clock.
So you can see Sheriff of Naughty Slams there for Varsity, very animatedly talking with head referee Axiom Addict, wanting to talk it over. And the officials doing a hell of a job here today.
And now the officials are calling a timeout.
We've got Penetrator, Spirit Fingers, Satisfaction, Switzerland, her birthday today, Penetrator, Miffy Pajamas, Cheesemaniac, Border Patrol, Cockless Monster, Commando Roll, Sin Switch, Sleigh Bell, and Dead Serious. They are your NSOs. And in the middle, in the black and white, head referees Axiom Addict. We've got Dandemonium, Cranky Pants, a Game Over. Simon Says, Indestructible, Short Circuit, and the alt ref for the game one is Sleaze Irwin. So with one jam to come, likely one jam to come, Laceration up against Sneaky Stackhouse. I'm pretty confident that Varsity has this one in the bag. but official reviews still in place, wanting to make sure the penalties are correct. Sneaky Stackhouse gets the lead jammer for Sydney.
So she has 2 minutes to score over 40 points. And look at that pace. The jump on the inside. Sneaky Stackhouse.
Well, there's four to start off with. Laceration playing some fifth blocker.
Calls it off, and Sydney call another timeout.
So timeout called by your mum for Sydney, making sure they get another jam in. And if it's not to take the win, it's at least to cut away at the difference. And you can see there, poetry in motion. Sneaky Stackhouse believes she can fly.
And he's straight through everybody. So surely we're down to the final jam now with 8 seconds on the clock. Sneaky Stackhouse is going again.
So we've had a lot of the confusion throughout the game. Laceration, Laser Station, Wickedly Wild is from Varsity, and she confirmed she has changed it. She's now Laser Station. So now we have the points per jam up once again. Blink and you'll miss it. Laser Station up on the line against Sneaky Stackhouse once again. Same as the last jam to close this one out.
So can Sneaky Stackhouse redo what she did last jam? And there she goes. Sneaky Stackhouse on the outside. Unbelievable energy at the dying seconds of this half.
Oh, Blocky Balboa giving the assist, the whip to Sneaky Stackhouse, but sending it to the outside. But she's all smiles. Sneaky Stackhouse loving it. What a game, Sebastian. What a game.
Indeed. What an amazing two last jams from Sneaky Stackhouse. Where did she find that energy to go that fast after being battered around for an hour?
So Varsity managed to stay in control and really turned it up in the second half. 168, 128, and putting on the pace for Varsity's Dishonour Rollers. First time in history they've beaten the Snipers.
History in the making here at the 5x5. So the Sydney rivalry continues.
And look at this board for the Varsity Dishonour Rollers. 4 skaters on 6 penalties and no foul outs. They cut it thin, they cut it close, but they kept on the track, and they're getting their congratulatory lap here, the victory lap. To the victors go the spoils. Dishonour Rollers from Varsity.
It could have been a very interesting extra time had we gone there. But in the end, the 40-point difference to Varsity does not tell the closeness of this game.
So Varsity's Dishonour Rollers getting their 2015 5x5 campaign started right. They go 3 points now. And Sydney Roller Derby League Snipers put on a hell of a show. Defense in spades. Low scoring affair both sides, but what a game it was.
And so here's my question, Kahuna. We've seen the improvement from the Snipers from round 1 to round 2. What will they be like in round 3?
We can only stay tuned to find out. But coming up next, folks, game number 2 goes to the Battlegrounds division. You'll see the Central Coast Roller Girls Valkyries, the defending champions for Battlegrounds, undefeated in 5x5 since August 2013. Valkyries taking on Hard's Kamikazes, the hard-hitting big walls of Hard. It's going to be a hell of a game.
Stay tuned, I'm looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Susie from Sydney Dobie Skates. We stock a wide range of products from all the best brands. Did you know that the Sydney Dobie Skates website is up to date with stock levels and will only let you buy something if it's actually in stock? We pride ourselves on having awesome customer service and very quick delivery. Usually items are sent the very same day you place your order.
The love that you can see here today, folks. Big Kahuna interviewing two captains of a hell of a game today. Repercussions, Levi Strides. Reaper, Varsity came away with a win. First time you beat the Snipers. How you feeling?
We are stoked. We come in not thinking that we're better than anyone, just having fun, and it pays to train hard, and this is where it gets us.
Levi Strides, that was a hell of a game. Defense was the key to that game. The walls look so strong, so impenetrable. What was the difference coming in from the loss in round one and seeing, even though you lost today, huge improvement from the Snipers?
We've been working on a lot of stuff lately. Because we were short the last game, we really wanted to come out strong this time and give it a red hot go. Unfortunately, we didn't take home the win, but it was a great game, great game.
And how's the Snipers enjoying being part of the 5x5?
Oh, it's awesome. We're so happy that we're involved in this tournament now. It's really fun, really fun. We're thrilled.
Now, Reaper, last year, Varsity Grand Finalists, seeing what we saw today, are you pushing for that again? Maybe going one step further?
I'm sure everyone likes to take home the win, but if we can improve every game, we're happy, regardless whether we win or lose.
And what was the gameplay coming in today, and did you manage to keep it at that?
I think we did. We have a new coach this year, and he works our asses off.
Hell of a game from both teams. You worked your ass off in some really hot conditions. It looked punishing. It looked tough. Thank you, ladies, for putting on a hell of a show for everyone.
Thank you. And thank you, Sydney.
Thank you. Thanks.
We'll be right back with game number 2, folks. Battlegrounds Division. Hard taking on Central Coast. Stay tuned.
Can I say hi, Daddy, I love you if you're still watching. Mwah.
I'm Susie from Sydney Dobie Skates. We stock a wide range of products from all the best brands. Did you know that the Sydney Dobie Skates website is up to date with stock levels and will only let you buy something if it's actually in stock? We pride ourselves on having awesome customer service and very quick delivery. Usually items are sent the very same day you place your order.